I bought my dream BMW for what I thought was an amazing deal. High five! But the more we look into it, the more I realize why it was so cheap. This right here might be the biggest reason why this car was so cheap.
So we have a hole in the gearbox.
No! God, please, no! No!
A brand new gearbox costs upwards of $17,000. And unfortunately, we don't have that type of money. This car has been parked up for more than 6 months, and that's because we could not find the parts. We've tried everything, and with all the efforts trying to find the parts, we could not find any. Until now. Welcome to our parts car. So, this is our solution for car parts. She has seen some better days definitely, but for people who are going to be telling that our channel is putting cars back on the road, this one is a statutory write-off. In Australia there's two write-offs, so repairable write-offs and statutory write-offs. When insurance thinks that the car can be fixed, it's a repairable write-off. When it feels that there's too much of damage, they'll put it as a statutory write-off, and due to this reason they cannot put it back on the road. So we are actually keeping this car in Australia for parts instead of exporting. So, first up is super cheap auto. We need jack stands. Get these ones because we already have 2 of them. For people who pay attention to detail, they might have noticed that my car is 2 series. However, our parts car is 1 series. But under the hood, they still share the same engine, and most importantly, they both have the same gearbox. The reason why I was bidding on this one is because we need a gearbox. And as you can see, the damage is mainly on the right side, right? So you have a huge impact on this side. And the reason why it is stat write-off is because of these huge dents on the roof. And these dents will indicate that the car has shifted. And because it shifted, it's too unsafe to be put back on the road. But even though car has a huge damage on the right side, we're not really worried about that. What we need is the gearbox. And the gearbox is located on the opposite side. And as you can see, lucky for us, this side has no impact. Well, at least none of what we see. And besides the gearbox being on the right side, we also need all the coolers and little brackets that we'll be using on our 2 series. Some people would say I have so much anger inside of me, but I never seem to understand what do they mean with that. This is the fastest way how to get rid of the parts you don't really need. First things first, let's lift up the car, check if the gearbox is good, because that's why we bought this car. And for everybody who was wondering, this car cost me $6,000. I know it's a little bit more than the gearbox, but as you saw in the previous video, gearbox alone is $4,500. And here we have an engine, we have so many other parts we could sell to help build our BMW M235i. I think this was a really good idea. Let's lift it up and let's check. Shout out to SP Tools for sorting us with the electric ratchet, because as you can see there's thousands of bolts, and imagine undoing every single one manually by hand with this little thing. This is a lifesaver, so thank you SP Tools. Not sure if the camera is going to be able to pick it up. See these? Maybe that's actually how the aluminum is casted. So maybe buying the parts car was not that smart of a move, but yet I think we're still in a winner, because all these bent metals, brackets and etc., we still really need them, and looks like they are the same on 1 series and 2 series. Now that we know what's wrong with 2 series from our previous video, and we have our parts car in this video, let's just start transferring parts from this car onto our 2 series, and let's see how much more parts do we need. For those who remember in my first video, we couldn't figure out what is this hose here. And I was thinking it's an oil cooler, but usually the oil cooler is on the bottom. Now that we have the parts car, I can actually see where the hose goes. And that hose goes to a thermostat for transmission. So looking at all the coolers, we have the aircon condenser and we have the big radiator. And in between here, hiding, is our oil cooler. Look how many extensions we need just to get down to that bolt. But again guys, this SP Tools electric ratchet is insane. I'm not sponsored by the guys, but I just love this product so much because it's saving so much time. Anybody who doesn't have an electric ratchet, guys, go get it ASAP, because this one is my favorite tool by far in my toolkit. Looking at this side for the damage, yes, we do have a hole here for this pipe and a bit of scratch on the shock absorber, and the main problem we see is the tie rod. So tie rod is the part that is responsible for your steering, left and right, and as you can see, this is not connected, so that's why we have no steering at the moment. However, if you look at this side has seen way more damage than the other side, and I think we'll need to replace almost the whole suspension corner. Hardest part is we cannot get these shock absorbers, so we might need to buy them new. But let's see what we can save from this car and put it onto the 2 Series. So I believe the things we're gonna start off is just opening up the same side on the parts car, see what we have there, and start replacing pretty much everything we can. On a side note, which brake calipers do you prefer? The blue ones on 1 Series or the red ones we have on the 2 Series? Let me know in the comments, and whichever is going to be more popular, we might actually switch them around. I had to remove catalytic converter to get access to some hidden gearbox screws. Even though I'd love to remove it completely, unfortunately in Australia it is illegal, and me not having one would end in a very expensive fine. Taken so much things apart just so we could get to all the gearbox bolts. I have also taken out the ECU, which means that you can't really scan the car anymore. And we haven't scanned the 2 Series yet at all for any codes, so we don't really know if the gearbox and the seat belts are the only things that might be of an issue for this car. Okay, I don't want to keep running the car too long because we still don't have any coolant. I don't want it to overheat. But we've got the gearbox error finally, which is good. Seat belts also could be a good sign. We only have the error for the driver's seat belt. However, one of those ones cost $1,200. So if you have to replace that, it's gonna be a little bit expensive. Every single time I hop in this car, I cannot wait to finish it, because it literally is dreams come true. I've never had a BMW, let alone an M Series. So if you could support this channel by subscribing, it would mean the world to me. I will be honest with you guys. I have no idea what I have gotten myself into, because I don't know what to do next. I know approximately how the engine has to come out, but I thought that I can just take the gearbox without taking out the engine, because that's what we'll need to do with the 2 Series. However, there's 3 engine mounts. One's on the engine right side, one's on the bottom, and one is on the left side. And the left side problem is that it connects to the gearbox. So if I take off the gearbox, that means the engine's gonna drop, and we don't want that. I don't have engine crane, I don't have anything else at the moment, so yeah, I'm a little bit stuck, but that's part of the process. We'll figure it out. So this is the engine mount I'm talking about. That's the gearbox. That's the second engine mount. And where's the third? That's the third one. So if I take out this side, the engine might drop that side. So I did what every normal car guy would do. Started undoing random bolts, hoping that it will not break anything, and bolt by bolt I will be able to remove the gearbox. Of course, I had to put some trolley jacks to support the engine and the gearbox. It would have definitely been easier with extra hands, but hey, sometimes you gotta do what you gotta do. And not too long of a moment later, gearbox was out. Now, on to our 2 Series. we have to strip all the front parts so we have access to the broken gearbox. As I just did it on a parts car, this took me so much faster. This just shows you that with practice you can definitely become way better and faster at things. So we have removed the full front because we need the access to the gearbox. And now that we have the access, you can actually see the damage is further, not only underneath, but also on the side. I think we'll need to try to put this, mechatronics unit into our old new gearbox and change the gearbox or transmission control unit. And then hopefully the gearbox works basically like it came from this car. So, what I've learned from stripping the parts car is that this whole CV shaft is super long, so it's gonna go straight into gearbox. And previously I didn't take it out, so we had a massive headache just to get it out, the whole gearbox. So, there's 3 bolts just inside there. We'll need a huge amount of extensions to get to them, but once we get them, we should be able to pull this out. I'm not sure if we have enough space to pull it while we have the suspension attached, because we don't have the proper tool to take it off. But if not, we're just gonna drop this whole suspension and then pull it all in one piece. Let's do it. And now that we have removed the left and right suspension, it's time for the broken gearbox to come out. And let me tell you, this gearbox is definitely not light. Luckily, I had my brother this time to carry the gearbox. After long wiggling, we got our gearbox out. So this is the one that was in the car that has the hole. And this is our second-hand, new to us gearbox that's going in the car right now. We'll clean it up and put it in. After I said that, little did I know what I just got myself and Roberts into. We were in for a ride. What was supposed to be 30 minutes turned into 6 hours of nightmare. We couldn't align the gearbox. We tried so many times to take it out and put it back in, and with every time we get more exhausted and more tired. And I will be honest with you, for the first time in this build, I felt defeated. And because it got so late, we thought to give up and try later. However, because both of us are stubborn, we thought we'd use all of our energy for one last time, and the gearbox went in! Alright, 7 hours later, the gearbox is finally in. I know the mic's not connected, it might sound weird, but guys, I have hands are shaking, seriously. No energy, but we did it. We finally did it. I thought that car's gonna win, but nah, ain't no winning for the car. If you enjoyed this video and you want to see this car actually driving, hit that like button, hit that subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.